Now remember, you had a rap star named Eminem. Is it M or M? I don't know. Is it me or M? Or M or me? I'm not sure. It's an intelligent nation, you see? Now, that is a naval force, you know? A naval force, you see? And we go, man, what a naval force. You know, Naval Space Force, National Space Force, okay? Now, did you forget the federal security number of the Naval Space Force? Okay, now we got a Navy ships and flight. Now, you remember we had a red eye? You know, that was eh. What did the fox say? Well, read what the fox said is, you know, we had a firefox, you know, and like we had a helicopter. Remember the movie? And it had the woman in the back and trying to concentrate on all these weapon systems all by herself. And they said, well, you got to use this eye to do this and this eye to look at this other stuff, man. And most people couldn't do it. So man, we got to find another way of doing this. So we had E equals M2, you know? E equals M2. You see? Is it M or me or M or E equals M2, you know? Intelligent nation, you know? So we said, well, we got a rat, you know? We got a rat problem. You know, Navy ship come to shore, you know? And you always got to watch out for the rats, you know? What's a rat? Well, it's because if you don't get a proper education, you go round and round. Love will, you know, find a way. Just give it time, you know. I said, you know, love will find a way. Give peace a chance. Now that's the G pack. That's the good of diplomacy pack, you know. You always got these packs, you know. And we go, well, you know, I tell you what, you know, they thought maybe the exhaust fume will go out here and the helicopter blade turn it and blow it away, right? You know, so you're taking less dense air from the hot air above, and plus, you know, you're blowing and mixing that with other hot, then you say, oh man, and that's getting hot air up under the chopper, so you really got to get that thing spinning fast. And then they thought, you know, maybe this will lift up, you know, and because you know less dense air, it's hard to control the tail, so they had some problems with the tail, you know, because hot air, you know, really hard, and you really got to make that thing spin fast. And then man, so they put an angle on one of them. I saw a helicopter go over the other night, and it's like I got an angle, you know, so they're trying to. And then you got the flex, you know, hey, can you guys flex, you know, let's flex some brains, you know. So I go, I'll check this out. You know, they got a flex on that. So they figured because of the flex, you know, trying to push, push that helicopter up in the air. They're like, I got a little flex, you know, like a butterfly wings, you know. And it's think, well, maybe the flex, you know, is it's climbing, you know. And plus, you know, don't forget, you know, it flex it down too, blow in, bring some thicker air from out there. When it flex up, it blows some hot air out. You know, maybe that'll work, you know, they think. And they said, man, okay, I'll tell you what we do, you know. We'll ask God, okay, about the lack of education and training, you know. A lack of education and training. Well, you can't eat, you know, gasoline. You can't eat rocket fuel, but alternative fuel, you can eat that. It's safe, you know. You know, kind of like when they make a crowns, you know, for kids, you know, they have to have that non-toxic crown, you know, safe for ideas, safer ideas, safe for good ideas, safer ideas, you know. You see what I mean? Say, talk for ideas, you know, Israeli intelligence, you know, eye for an eye, you know. Hey, you grinning yet? Okay, we'll say, okay, this is how I teach them. Well, they had a tuning fork, you know, and they say, can you tune? Oh man, I got so many good ideas. They never make these things last. Okay, hold on. That's because, you know, they try to conserve, you know, so they're conserving. So hold on. You really gotta think about this stuff, man. So what you gotta do is you put the cap on that, and you go, man, you really gotta come prepared, you know. So put a little water on it, you know, a little spirit, okay? You get the blue green for the ocean green and the blue for the water. So let's say, okay, now let's think about spirit football. Well, they had a lot of keys and a lot of solutions and a lot of ways to do things. Okay. Like, man, we got the major problem where we need water, and then we got the in-betweens where we need grass, So they make a piano with the black and white with these keys, just make it a piano keys, And as you get some water under the ground, then maybe the ground won't be so dry, and we can, you know, get us some grass and some foliage there, And so airfoils, yeah, that's why you call it airfoils, because there's moisture in the air, But dry air foils your plants, And like, man, yeah, you get in that dry air, you got to use a lot more fuel because you have less resistance to push against. So, that's why they call them airfoils. So on the back of the cars, all the cars are Fast and Furious. They put airfoils, They said, man, when we're driving around in the back of the car, we put airfoils, you know. And remember Star Trek, It's like, man, we put airfoils on the back of the car, man. And maybe they start thinking about that, So that was a pretty good idea. So we're like, okay, we got a Fast and Furious park of building in California, okay? And now they look at this and they go, that's a tuning fork for the music that we've been playing, And you want to get a touchdown, You think about that, They go, man, I got a one people here and one people here, And they want to work together so we can say we, And they go, well, that's like a touchdown, it's like a tuning fork. You guys ever seen a tuning fork? You go bing and it goes, and then you listen, you got to listen, and they go bing and you hit the little piano key and you go ding and you try to see if they match, if they're getting along, if the strings, like the voice strings, you say your vocal cords, man, all God's children, So they say, well, if you hit a tuning fork, bing, and it vibrates just right, and the vibration matches the other vibration of the keys you're playing on the piano, then you got it in tune. So I say, stay in tune, we the people, And it says, well, you get the guy in the middle, you call that a mediator. And you go, man, now we're talking about trident forces and nuclear technology, They go, oh my God, look at that, And they go, man, water's above, the water's below. We go, man, trident forces? It says, man, it's like a big W for wisdom when you're talking to both sides, okay? They go, man, hey, and the football say, hey, off sides. I'm like, what are you talking about? We're supposed to be on both sides. And man, you see the guy in the middle there? Man, it must be a nuclear technician, for that nuclear football. He goes, man, that's a pretty tall dude. And he says, well, we made that cross out there, so people remember. And we said, man, remember Jesus? Okay? He's like, man, okay, we got it now. He says, okay, I tell you what, we're just flexing some education, okay? And I says, man, well, that's because we had the pitchfork, Farmers Tech was more than Florida Tech, way more than Florida Tech. It's a bunch of farmers all around the country trying to make alternative fuels so they can grow more crops and stuff. And we got to get a Mars mission. He says, man, well, we had a Mars mission because we need multimedia to teach people about Mars because we don't want what happened on Mars to happen on Earth, And they go, Mars mission education is for Mars mission Earth, Says we don't want to repeat the mistakes of the past on other planets, This is a new planet, so we don't want to ruin it, okay? So we could go and maybe restore some of the other planets and have more places to explore and live, That's a pretty good idea. And we go, well, we had a few rats, in the education. And the reason why is because we needed Florida Tech to have an A in there, man. An A. And they go, an A, well, if we move this over, and we got the teaching education for Americans, which is triple A, plenty of spirit to go around. He said triple A for the education system. We got, angels and aliens. You see, we got American angel aliens or American alien angels, okay? And then we got a CH there. We got creating heavens. So what we do is put a big C there, and now we got to teach, okay? And then if you got good education, you know, you got the sunshine coming up from the east, okay? So you don't get aches and pains because you got good education, like a trident forces and make a we, And they go, man, that's pretty cool, we. And in a way, if you turn it sideways this way, you get a three, okay? And that's a trinity, you see? And if you turn it this way, you get a wisdom. And if you turn it this way, you get an education, you see? And if you turn it upside down, you get media, you see? So media matters, okay? Educate. And then we'll go, man, did you see that CFC? Yeah, man, that's a CFC. Remember? I said, hey, see if C, see if. The if statements of the C of programming language. That's why we got the Navy. And I sent the judge. I said, man, hey, judge, we're going to have some fun. The judge's like, yeah, we are, man. I'm like, hey, you remember the CF card? And see if we can do it, you know? It's like, see if we could do it, And they're like, what are you talking about? Christ Force, man. The Naval Space Force. I'm like, man. And if we can do it, even Eminem will change his name to NF. Hey, fixing nations. And like, if Eminem could turn around to fix nations, why can't you? You see? And they go, CF, you know? See? You see, Florida Camp. Camp Florida is actually, trying to make an example and say, Space Camp Fuel. You see? And you go, alternative energy. And that's what the AE is about. You see? Educating aliens or educating angels or educating America. So we got angels that we can learn all the right angles of education. You see? Now, some people thought those angles were, I want to keep this for myself and box it up and never tell anybody. And that is the downfall of nations, okay? So what we want to do is we want to get the right angles, okay, with the right designs for the right sleek transportations and the correct education, okay? Now you see how I did that? It's starting to look like a fish hook, man. Now, what we do is we swing that down in there like a pendulum, like the science guy was talking about, and we swing it down, we hook it, and then we lift it up with the proper designs so that we have a nice little space cushion underneath the helicopter, okay? And now this is what I was talking about when I was talking about wavelengths. You got a wavelength here under the helicopter, okay? And with a proper blade, you got a wavelength here that you're flying with. Now I want to show you the ocean. Now when you tilt that helicopter to fly it forward, and with the proper engines properly placed, your heat source is now going up where it belongs. Meet me halfway across the sky, and don't forget about the song, let's go up where we belong, soaring high like eagles, up where we belong like officers and gentlemen, you see? And I go, man, so you got the engine putting the heat when it tilts forward, plus you got your wavelength correct. So, if we meet in the middle, where you're supposed to be in the design of flight time, then you got your transportation correct. And you just give it a little tilt and a little bit goes a long way, because build a wall, You remember you talk about your wind tunnels you're trying to figure out, and I say, your wind tunnels can't do it because your wind tunnel is built on a solid, and it is not a solid. Water is not a solid. It is a liquid and a gas that appears like a solid. It's nothing like it anywhere else in the universe. Okay? So, you go, here you go, and then you create your wind tunnel correctly, okay? And then you create your wave ripple by properly placing your engines. And don't forget up here, you put one in front, okay? And man, and then they go back, and you get your proper here, okay, for your exhaust, and you go, man, because what you're doing is you're taking this, okay, and you're creating a wind tunnel here with heat source you leave behind, okay? But you want to split the difference, okay? But at the same time, you have to split the difference up here, or you're just fighting into a wall, okay? Like a lawnmower, you know, like a lawnmower man pilot, you know? That's what they've been doing, lawnmower men pilots, you know? And they're just chopping away at the graces, you know? It's like, man, what are you talking about? And I says, well, you know, if you really want to get down to it, you know, if you put the right chopper blade in there, okay, like I said, and you know, you got your wavelength here, spreading it out, you get your tilt, and as it's pushing the heat out the end of the blades, look at what it do for you. Opening a window in time and space, okay? And you get your power curve. I told you the engine is outside of the vehicle too. And you got another opening a window of time and space here, right? And then now look, there is your natural chopper blade, okay? Remember, echoes in time, lifting the chopper, move forward through time and space, okay? You got a less resistance here and here, and then you're flying in between like a Jesus Christ, okay? And then it moves along with you. And I say, thank you, Jesus, okay? I'm gonna tell you a little more about it later.